what is polluted. That was the job of Israel's priests, to remove the stain of sin. That's what putting things to death was meant to achieve. And throughout the Bible's history, one tribe, the Levites, were chosen to be God's priests. We see these cleansing feats in the first Levite, Levi himself, when the idolatrous men of Shechem, in lustful aggression, defiled Levi's sister, Dinah. So, like a priest, Levi came to this Israelite daughter's protection and cleansed the sinful polluters, putting them to death for their transgressions. The mission of the Levites is seen again at Mount Sinai, when, after Israel's flight from their Egyptian plight, the Israelites ascribed their rescue to an idol, polluting the worship of the God who actually saved their tribes. So the priestly tribe of Levi cleansed the sinful polluters, putting them to death for their lies. Their job as priests is seen climactically in the Levite Phinehas, when Israel's men became curious of the various idolatrous gods of other nations. They intermarried with foreign women and became intimate with foreign gods. So, as a climactic Levite, Phinehas cleansed the sinful polluters, putting them to death for their idolatrous lusts. And God made a covenant with these Levites so that when an Israelite became stained with sin or polluted by idolatry, the Levites could put an unstained sacrifice to death that would wash Israel's sins and make them clean, to save the lives of the people. That was the job of Israel's priests. But what would Israel do when the Levites who cleaned the pollution became polluted themselves and needed to be cleaned? How could Levites remove the stain of sin when they should be put to death for their deeds? Israel's Levitical priests turned money into idolatry. They held back their tithes, refusing to trust God with their needs. How could they offer cleansing when their hands were unclean? How could Israel's sins be washed away when their sacrifices were all defiled? They even left their Israelite wives and their allegiance to the one true God to intermarry with foreign women and pollute their hands with their foreign frauds. How could Israel cleanse what is polluted when the stains were on the hands of the ones meant to clean? How could the stain of sin be removed by these kinds of priests when they had put to death all the Levites were meant to achieve? That is why God sent a messenger to the tribe of Levi. That is why God sent Malachi. Malachi confronted Israel's priests with this message. They, the cleaners, needed to be cleaned. Those of them stained with sin needed to be put to death if their cleansing purpose was to again be achieved. And Malachi says God will do this by sending another priest. God will send another messenger who will cleanse the Levites of their pollution so that the priests can clean Israel of her sins. In fact, that's how Malachi's prophecies end, with the promise of a priest who, like a true Levite, would prepare the way for God to come and make all things clean. That is exactly who we meet in the son of another Levitical priest. For Zechariah, from the tribe of Levi, fathered the messenger Malachi prophesied, a messenger who would cleanse as Israel's priests hadn't, a Levite named John the Baptist. Not by accident, John called Israel to the water, a place where they could be cleaned and purified, or simply put, baptized. John the Baptist prepared the way for a new kind of sacrifice and a new kind of priest. For Jesus was God himself, unpolluted and completely clean. Yet Jesus instructed John the Baptist in baptism to symbolically put him to death. And in that moment, John the Baptist became the final Levite, for he prepared the final sacrifice. Because Jesus would lay down his unpolluted life to clean every stain off of every tribe, the unpolluted Jesus would be put to death to save our polluted lives. That is why, like Malachi, Jesus went to the home of the Levites. He went to the temple. Jesus turned over its tables as a symbol that he had come to cleanse all that is polluted and put an end to all that is Levitical. For the Levites had to end because they could only resemble the kind of cleaning Jesus would do. A cleaning that would be final. Jesus, the ultimate priest, provided cleansing for the outcasts and foreigners. He provided forgiveness for the polluted and adulterers. Jesus purified those plagued by spirits that were unclean. For the perpetually polluted, he was the priest who could finally clean. Jesus even cleansed the harshest blow sin's pollution has ever dealt, for he was put to death to wash away death itself. John, the final Levite, prepared the final sacrifice in Jesus the Christ, so that he could clean all that is polluted. For that is the job of Jesus, our eternal priest. He removes the stains of our sin. That's what putting Jesus to death has finally achieved.